Hey guys, what's going on? Coach Justin here from Ultimate Baseball Training, and in today's video I wanted to share with you some secrets to running faster. In particular, we're going to be talking about the 60-yard dash because it's something that all baseball players are evaluated on. No matter what showcase or tryout event that you go to, you're going to do the 60-yard dash, and most likely it's going to be the very first thing that you do. So you basically have two options. You can jump on their radar, the coach's radar, right away in a good way, and you can showcase your speed and you can immediately climb to the top of their list, or you can do the exact opposite. You can go down on their list. Other players are going to stand out instead of you. So you really have two options, right? But I wanted to give you some tips in today's video that you can apply right now. This is not a 6-month training program to run a faster 60 or anything like that. This is things that you can do on the day that you run to help you drop your time. So let's get straight into the video. All right, so the first secret that I have for you is a great hip flexor stretch. Now, a lot of you guys are going to be running your 60-yard dash in the mornings. That's usually when these showcases and tryouts happen, right? First thing in the morning, so you roll out of bed, you know, you're tired, your body's kind of in a funk, you're not in a peak athletic state yet, right? So when you get to the field, I want you to do your dynamic warm-up. A lot of the times they're gonna run you through a warm-up, okay? But before you actually run your 60, I want you to do this hip flexor stretch. You can do it by yourself or with a partner. A partner's a little bit easier, but if you're just by yourself, I'm gonna raise my right knee. So I'm just standing on one foot. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my hands on top of my knee and I'm gonna try to drive my knee upward like this. That's gonna activate my hip flexors. Meanwhile, I'm gonna put pressure with my hands pushing down. So it's kind of, you know, fighting in the opposite direction, just like this. So I'm gonna push up with my knee, push down with my hands, and you're gonna feel that activating your hip flexor. Do it for about 5 seconds and then switch sides. And if you have a partner, then it makes it a little bit easier because all you're doing is focusing on fighting with your knee and they can push down. But just do that, 5 seconds on each leg, and do that for a couple sets. And this is just a couple minutes before you actually run. I promise you it's gonna activate your hip flexors. You're gonna drop your 60 time because of it. All right, so now let's talk about stance. Most of the time you're gonna have to start in a baseball stance like you're stealing a base. They're not gonna let you start this way in a 40-yard dash stance. So let's talk about your stance. I want you in an athletic position, not too wide and definitely not too narrow, not too tall and not too hunched over either. Similar to if you're playing defense in basketball or linebacker in football. Now, a lot of players get it right up to this point, right? But then this is where they stop. Here's where you're gonna have the advantage. What I want you to do with your right leg is I want you to drop it back. I want your right toes to be pretty much even with your left foot's heel, okay? So you're gonna drop your foot back like this. We're also gonna open up our right foot ever so slightly, about 45 degrees. So our foot, both of our feet are not facing forward. Our right foot is actually dropped and it's open. What this does is it opens my hip here. If I close myself off like this, and I'm gonna talk about this in a second, we want our first move to be a crossover step. That is very hard for me to take a crossover step when this front foot is closed. But if I drop it back, if I open it up, it almost buys me some room to where that crossover step can be bigger, it can be more explosive. So that's the next thing I wanna talk about, right? We got our stance down like this. You can have your hands dangling here like this. You can have yourself coiled up a little bit, just don't have your hands on your knees. But have your hands in a nice relaxed position. From there, we're gonna really push off and explode off of our back leg here. And our first step is gonna be a crossover step like this. I see a lot of players do a jab step like this as their first step, and that is wasted movement. Think about how long that takes. That's probably 1/10 of a second right there. And how far have I gone? I haven't even gone 6 inches. I'm not even any closer to my goal of the 60 yards. So what's a quicker and better first step? This here or this here? So we want to use the crossover step. And the way you do that is just by putting a little bit more weight on your backside and having the mindset of exploding off of this back leg. And first step, crossing over. When we get to this crossover position here, once we're out of the gates, what I want you to do is I want you to stay low. I see a lot of players, their first move is they immediately pick their head up like this. Keep your chin down. As soon as your chin comes up like this, everything else comes up and you start running like this, and that's slowing yourself down. So when you get out of the gate, we want to start low, boom, and we want to stay low throughout the entire sprint. A couple more things. I want you to actually run in a straight line. How many times do you see, if you're watching guys run from behind, how many times do you see them running all over the place like this? Run in a straight line, because if you're running crooked, it sounds common. It sounds like common sense, but unfortunately that's not common anymore, right? If you run crooked, you're gonna be slower. So run in a straight line, and also run through the cones. Don't stop at the cones. So many players let up 5 yards before they get to the cones. That's slowing you down. So run all the way through the cones. The last thing is mentality. Mentality. How many of you guys get to the 30-yard mark and your mental game starts to kind of fade a little bit? You start thinking, man, this is kind of a long run, and you're kind of in your own head. If you want to run a fast 60, you have to be locked in, dialed in 100% of the time, the entire 65, 70 yards, because remember, we're running through the cones. So you need to have the mindset of, I'm about to run the fastest 60 in my life. When you take off, you have to have the mindset of run hard, dig, 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 all the way through. Don't let your mind wander. Keep mentally focused. And one last quick little drill that I want you to do before you run your 60. When we're actually running, we want to have a forward lean with our body, right? We don't want to be standing straight up like this. We actually want to have a lean. So what I want you to do is I want you to line up with your feet about shoulder width apart. Do this 5-yard explosive sprints. Do about 5 of them before you run. All we're going to do is we're going to allow ourselves to fall forward like this, and immediately here we are going to explode for 5 or 10 yards. So all we're working on is getting into that good forward lean and then running all the way through. Explosive sprints, getting into that forward lean, it's going to help you run your fastest 60 of your life. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and really quickly before you go, I actually made something really special for you. I created a free bat speed boosters workout that's guaranteed to help you boost your bat speed 5 to 10 miles an hour. It's going to help you improve your power, help you hit the ball harder and more consistently. So to get that, it's 100% free. All you have to do is just click on the first link below this video in the description. That'll take you to my website. I just need your email address and I'll send you this free bat speed boosters workout. So go do that now. As always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button for me. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you'd like to see next in future videos. And as always, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure to subscribe right now, because we're coming out with new baseball videos every single week. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.